so far in my life throughout, whether it be just my own personal experience, maybe it'll just be talking to people as well, people who are religious and also just not religious at all, or just even reading books about people, maybe even some Stoics, some philosophers of different various kinds, and just reading books about other religions in general. I have come to the conclusion that there is really only one pathway to happiness. And it comes with a really big caveat, and it comes with a price that I think that we as human beings and a lot of people in general are just really not willing to pay, myself included. The one pathway to happiness is literally just surrendering yourself to the fortune that you have and what God has planned out for you. Look, obviously, this video is going to have a little bit more of a Islamic connotation to it because I'm Muslim. So I obviously am a follower of Islam. So I look at life in general just through the scopes of Islam. But regardless of whatever books you pick up, regardless of whatever trial or event is going on in your life, the one pathway of happiness, and I can really guarantee it to you, is literally just letting go of any control that you feel like that you should have. And that's the key word, the control that you feel like you should have. We all think that we should have a certain level of control over our lives, which we actually do, but we actually want more control. And this greed of more control ends up being our demise, to be very frank with you. We always think that if we had more control over our situation, that we could somehow be happier. We could somehow fix our situation and we could be better in so many different ways. And that might, in reality, that might be very true. But the thing that I feel like we always miss is that because we feel like we should have that control, we always end up becoming miserable in the pursuit and in the wish of us having that control in the first place. See, I've obviously made a video in the past saying that we suffer a lot more in our imagination than we do in reality, which I do fundamentally believe to be very true. But I do think that we also do ourselves more of a disservice when we actually just dwell on the fact that we are not in control. We constantly dwell on the fact that we wish we had more control, and we get very upset and very frustrated and angry when we realize that we don't. And the quicker that you realize, the sooner that you surrender to the decree that has been decreed upon you, I promise you, you'll actually be so much happier. Here's the thing. Throughout my entire life, I've wanted some things. I've wanted people in my life as well. And it's a very universal experience, right? Like, we fundamentally think that if I get this certain thing, or if I get this certain person to like me or to love me or to treat me better, that I would be so much happier. And the key is that we want those things because we feel like that those are the things that are going to eventually bring us peace. But sometimes that is the furthest thing from reality. What we're actually just looking for is not that particular event. We're looking for the happiness that that event will give us. Now, obviously, it's completely logical and very common sense when I put it like that. But the thing is that if you focus on the end product that you actually want, which is just peace, happiness, and comfort and love, then you'll quickly realize that sometimes the places that you're looking for all of those things in, they're probably just not made for you. And here's also the other thing. Let's say, for example, if you want a job or you want to end up with a certain person or whatever, and you feel like that this is your end all be all, that if you get this person or if you get this job, then you'll be extremely happy with how basically everything will turn out for you. And the thing is, the reality of the situation is that you don't know everything about that person, about that job, about that degree, about that career, or anything. But you know who does? God does, like Allah does. Allah will always know everything that you do not know. Allah will always know the unseen and the unknown of all these different things. So, this is obviously something that I have struggled with in my own life about just accepting his decree, because it's always like, man, like, why do things have to turn out like this? But the reality of the situation is once you actually accept that decree, I promise you, you end up being so much happier. And it's such a weird feeling as well. that once you finally just surrender and you give up your control, you're like, all right, like I'm just gonna focus on whatever I can influence, all the decisions that are in my hands. I'm gonna try my best to make them as best as possible. But I understand that there is somebody out there, there's some entity out there that knows much more than me that is making these decisions. So I know that these decisions are gonna be good overall all the time. So keep that in mind whenever you're going through something, whenever you want something and you don't get it. That is your pathway to happiness, and the pathway is, to put it in simple terms, just acceptance of reality. If you accept reality, you'll be so much better off than you just wanting to fight with reality and wanting to fight with the decree that has been ordained upon you. Because, like, I promise you, you can keep on doing that. I know I have for a very long time in my life, and it has brought me absolutely nowhere close to peace. It has brought me nowhere close to happiness either. So just accept whatever you can, whatever is going on in your life, accept it. Make sure that you understand that there is good in whatever you are going through at the moment. There's a lot of good in it, and just keep on going through with it. And I promise you, it'll all work out in its own weird way. We've all been through shit. We've all been through certain things in our lives that we were like, man, why is this happening to me? And you quickly realize, you're like, okay, cool. I don't know why exactly this is happening to me, but all right, I'm going to surrender to it. I'm going to let it play its course, and fingers crossed, one day it's going to get better. And it is. I promise you, it is. It is going to get better. You just kind of have to go through the storm at the moment. But anyways, guys, this was episode number 126 of the Daily Lessons podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button for me as well, because I make videos like this every single day. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.